So welcome back, everybody. On this one, folks, I feel I need to do a huge disclaimer. When tuning a carb, it can go wrong about 50 different ways. So for that reason, and a couple others I'm going to share with you, I'm not encouraging anyone to really follow this step for step. We're going to give you a general idea of what you should be tuning your carb to, but I just want to tell you that my bike is a little bit different than yours. My bike has already been upgraded, but the reason I say you don't want to do exactly as I do is because I have a 180cc Taiwanese engine to go along with my 28mm PWK Carb and a high performance exhaust, and I'm tuning it to a velocity stack, not an under the seat air box, not a pod filter. So for those reasons it's going to be different. But also, folks, the climate you live in. If you live in a mountainous region, most likely you will not be using the same jets that I'll be using. If you live in a place with a lot of valleys, most likely we will not be using the same jets. And if your temperatures are either super hot or super cold, that also might create a big difference. So folks, this is not going to tell you exactly what to use for your bike, but more of these are the steps that I'm going to use, so it's an opinion piece, to tune my carb. I do not have the luxury of using an O2 sensor or anything of that nature. We're going to do this the old school way. So now that the bike has been warmed up enough to take a look at our spark plug, let's get that done, folks.
So overall, I'm impressed with the look of my spark plug. The ground nodes look rich, while the center node is giving me the rust color that I'm looking for. And this tells me that the air gas mixture is burning pretty well across the spark plug. So this gives me a clear indication that most likely my jets do not need to be changed, but we're not going to let that stop us. So I'm not really sure how closely you guys follow my channel, but in my last video I did mention my particular problem was going to be at takeoff. I'm experiencing a big gulp of air, it seems, when I first let on the throttle. So in today's video we're going to cover the air fuel mixture screw, and that would be that little screw right there. Now, just so it's clear that we can stop calling it an air fuel mixture screw, because on a 4-stroke it is a fuel screw, and on a 2-stroke it is an air screw. So what our fuel screw does is let in a certain amount of fuel mixed with a certain amount of air to produce a decent takeoff, and other components of the carburetor take over from there, such as the needle, the pilot jet, and the main jet. So let's attempt to adjust our fuel screw and see if we can get that hiccup taken care of. So before adjusting the fuel screw, you want your bike at operating temperature. So I'm going to take a ride and you guys are going to stay here. See you in a minute. So now that the engine is up to operating temperature, we can start with our adjustments. Now I have the engine off, but it will have to be running when we do our adjustments, just so you can hear me. But the first thing we'll be working with is our idle screw. I'm going to turn the idle down all the way until almost the engine cuts off. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and make my adjustment to my fuel screw to try to raise the RPMs up as high as they can go without failing. So now let's start the bike. So currently we're reading 2000 RPM, and we want that to drop considerably. So I'm going to bring my idle down. Alright, that's way down. So now we're going to make our adjustment with our fuel screw. try to raise the RPM. Okay, that's better. That sounds pretty good. So now with the RPMs at 2,000, I'm going to go ahead and raise my idle screw to get it to about 2.6. So now we're sitting at about 2.6. Now just so you know, I've tuned the car before, so I'm not really worried about where the screw initially was set. But for any rookies out there, normally this is 2 to 2.5 turns out, and probably before you do any adjustments, you want to make sure to note where it is set in case you need to get back. But for us, I think we should be good. So now let's go for a test ride and see if the gulp is gone.
Alright folks, you know why we're here and you know what this is about. So we are here to see if the gulp is gone. First of all, she starts right up, if you notice. Right up. So that tells you right there she's breathing better. And here we go. I couldn't even hold it down because it was going to pop a wheelie. The gulp, folks, is gone. Alright, just so we can see that again without me falling off the bike. Okay. Go ahead to standstill stop again. And go. No gulp, just pure speed.
Well, it seems like we've solved our problem. So this being part 1, you know we're still going to make adjustments, just to see if we can take anything from it or give it anything more. But until then, I want you guys to do me a big favor and check out my boy Logan over at the Motorcycle Forge. I'll provide a link in the corner to the video that I want you to watch, because he goes into pretty fine detail on exactly how a PWK carb works. And most likely I won't be covering that in this series. We'll just be moving on to trying different jets. But until then, I want to say everybody have a great day. You know your boy's going to see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.